I walk into the Blackfinch bar because it's too early to go home and too late to pretend I still have one. The place glows like a broken aquarium LED strips under glass shelves. Blue light bouncing off half-empty bottles. The sound of rain against the awning keeps time with the clink of ice. Friday. End of quarter. Every ad agency in Seattle is celebrating itself. I nurse a club soda with lime, my token attempt at discipline, while two strangers near the door start shouting over a spilled drink. One guy slams the other into the jukebox. Shattering the rhythm of a synth-pop remix, their faces twist. Same energy I used to see in mirrors. A fight about nothing. Standing in for everything. The bartender yells for security. The bigger one grabs a bottle by the neck. Then freezes when he sees his own reflection in the bar mirror. That flicker of self-awareness, I know it too well. That was me a year ago, except the bottle hit the wall. Not another person. A hand lands on my shoulder. Rough night. It's Derek Shaw. My office buddy. Sleeves rolled. Phone still buzzing with Slack notifications. You disappear for a week and pop up here sober as a monk. You okay? Nash. I shrug. I'm fine. Just watching people make my old mistakes. He whistles. Still about her. Still. A word that's both insult and diagnosis. I look down at my ring finger, empty now. Pale band of untanned skin betraying the history I never talk about. A year ago, New York. My apartment smelled like stale espresso and betrayal. Clara had left her laptop open on the kitchen counter calendar invite titled Dinner with Mark Private. The location wasn't a restaurant, it was a boutique hotel 5 blocks away. I remember the taste of metallic air. The thud in my chest like a drumline underwater. I didn't confront her that night. I just watched the digital clock change from 1058 to 1103, then packed my suitcase. 15 months married. And she managed to convince me that honesty was a branding exercise. Back in the bar, Derek keeps talking, filling silence the way marketers fill white space. Lang wants you at Monday's strategy review. The drone campaign accounts bleeding budget. We need the big picture guy. That's me now, creative director. Newest import at Pixel and STEM. I came here to rebuild. Or at least to stay invisible. The city's glass towers and constant drizzle are good camouflage for regret. Then the night shifts. A laugh low. Musical. With a bite at the end cuts through the chatter. I turn. Lila Grant, our finance analyst, stands under the pendant light near the bar's back table. In the neon glow, her short copper hair looks electric. She's younger, sharp in ways that have nothing to do with makeup. She catches my eye and waves a cocktail straw like a wand. Bossman drinking soda. That's tragic, she says, sliding onto the stool beside me, keeping the agency reputation intact. I answer. Somebody has to remember we have clients in the morning. Clients or ghosts, she teases. You always look like you're haunted. She's not wrong. I'm the guy who ghosts himself. The argument near the jukebox reignites accusations. Slurred apologies. The familiar line, it's not what you think. That sentence hits me like static under the skin. I stand before I mean to. Leela's eyes flicker in question. Old reflex. I mutter, tossing a 20 on the counter. Some lies echo. Outside. The rain slaps harder. The air smells of ozone and fryer grease from the food truck line. I pull my coat tight. Start walking toward the parking deck. Behind me, footsteps follow light. Deliberate. Victor. Leela calls. The sound of my name in her voice feels like something I've misplaced. You okay? I stop beneath a flickering streetlight. Do I look okay? You look like someone who's still standing. Which is more than most people after a crash. She hesitates. Sorry if that's too blunt. Finance brain. No filter. I almost laugh. You should work in creative. We weaponize bluntness. She grins. Maybe I already do. The elevator at the parking deck dings open behind us, echoing up the concrete column. Leela doesn't move. Neither do I. The rain forms halos around her shoulders. I'm heading that way. She says, I'll walk with you. We reach my car, a dull gray Tesla. The kind you lease when you don't want personality attached to you. She leans against the pillar. crossing her arms. Can I ask something, she says. Everyone in the office treats you like some mystery novel with missing chapters. Why'd you really move here? No one leaves New York for gray skies unless they're running from something. I unlock the door. The beep echoing too loud. Maybe I wanted to start over. Or maybe you wanted to disappear. Her tone softens. If it's the second one, I hope you fail. That line sticks. I open the door. Hesitate. Good night. Lila. Night. Victor, she says. Voice, light, but deliberate. And for the record, you don't have to keep proving you're unbreakable. People can see the cracks and still like you. She walks away before I can reply. Umbrella snapping open like punctuation. For a long moment, I watch her cross the street. Neon from a noodle shop, painting her silhouette red and blue. In the car, the windshield wipers thud a slow rhythm. My phone buzzes email from HR about Monday's leadership briefing. Another from my ex-lawyer confirming the final property split. I should feel free. Instead, there's that hollow ache where relief should be. Then, a second notification. Unknown number. Message. It's not what you think. No signature. Just the sentence that refuses to die. I stare at it until the screen dims. Outside. The rain blurs the skyline into streaks of colorless glass. I tell myself it's spam. I don't believe it. Micro payoff. I delete the message instead of replying. First small victory in a year, but my hands still shake. Monday starts with the sound of rain on glass and an inbox full of problems pretending to be opportunities. I tell myself this is what normal looks like: coffee, commute, work. Normal is the closest thing to healing. Benign. The office hums like a hive. Pixel and stem glows under bright panels. All concrete floors and glass walls, the kind of place that sells transparency while hiding everyone's panic behind project dashboards. I pass Derek Shaw arguing with a client over Zoom. Headset askew. Voice, calm and firm. He throws me a mock salute. I answer with a raised brow. Habit. Camouflage. Then I see Lila Grant through the glass of the analytics pod. Head tilted. Red hair lit by her screen. She waves me in. Morning. Boss, she says. Numbers are lying again. They always do. She slides a printout across the table. A color-coded mess of cost overruns. Drone campaign. Vendor billed us twice. We can claw back 20 grand if we move now. I scan. Nod. Send the correction to Lang. Good catch. Her grin is quick. Mischievous. I live for catching lies. That lands harder than it should. I focus on the page so she won't see the hit. At lunch, Derek insists I eat something that isn't coffee. We end up at a taco truck parked under the agency's awning. Gray drizzle cooling the air. You ever going to tell me what happened back in New York? He asks. No. Fair. But word is someone called the office asking for you last week. I freeze halfway through a bite. Who? Reception didn't say. Maybe a client. Or maybe the ghost of your past. He laughs. I don't. I finish the taco and drop the wrapper into the bin. If it's the past, tell it I'm not home. That night, my phone pings, unknown number again. This time, just a photo, a street shot of me outside the agency. Time-stamped that morning. No text. My pulse spikes. I take another picture of the screen, forward it to my email, and block the sender again. Then I forward both to myself under the subject line, proof. I don't sleep. Tuesday morning. I find a small card slipped under my apartment door, Detective Ruiz, Seattle PD. Please call. Her voice over the phone is calm. Unhurried. Mr. Nash. NYPD sent a welfare check request. Someone filed a missing person report for you a year ago. Want to guess who? I sigh. Glada Evans. Ex-wife. Working on the ex part. I just need confirmation you're fine. She says. And to warn you, someone's been making inquiries about your new address. Private investigator. Maybe. If it gets weird, call me. Already weird. I mutter. But thank her anyway. After we hang up, I add her contact to my phone. Small safety net. Payoff hash own. However small knowledge, work tries to swallow me again. I spend the day buried in brand decks. Pretending creative direction is therapy. It almost works until Lila appears at my doorway near 5, holding 2 coffees. Thought you'd need a refill, she says. You look like you're fighting ghosts. Detective called. I admit. Apparently, my wife still thinks I'm missing. Lila sets the cups down, her expression careful. That's something. It's nothing, just noise from the past. Noise gets louder if you ignore it. Her honesty cuts through the caffeine haze. I change the subject. We still good on the drone pitch. Ready? But you need to eat. She's right. We grab noodles from the corner place. The rains turn to mist. Lights smearing across wet asphalt. It should feel romantic. It doesn't. It feels like standing on a fault line. Waiting. After dinner, she asks, "Why'd you really leave New York?" I stare into the steam rising from the takeout bowl. Found proof my wife was seeing someone. Didn't scream. Didn't break things. Just left. That's almost worse, she says softly. You kept it all inside. Safer that way. For who? I don't answer. She watches me, searching for cracks. Then she says it, the line that tilts the room. You don't have to prove you're unbreakable. Victor. Her hand brushes mine. Light as breath. For a second, I want to let the world tip, but I pull back. The motion small but final. You can't. I whisper. Not yet. She nods. Stands. Okay. Rain check. When she's gone, I sit in the parked car. Windows fogging. I tell myself restraint is strength. It doesn't feel like it. Wednesday brings consequences. Lang calls me into his office wall of trophies. Window view of gray water. Good work on the drone fix. He says, "We're moving you up managing partner track if next quarter's clean." I should feel triumphant. Instead, I imagine that message on my phone, the picture of me in the rain. Someone still watching. As I leave, Derek catches me by the elevators. Congrats. Man drinks tonight. Can't. I say. Too much to untangle. He smirks. You've been saying that since you got here. Eventually, people stop waiting. His words echo long after the elevator doors close. That evening, the apartment smells like ozone and cardboard. I'm halfway through reheating leftovers when a buzz rattles the intercom. Delivery. A male voice says, "I didn't order anything." Silence. Then a soft laugh, familiar. Wrong. My chest tightens. I look through the peephole. Nobody there. I lock the deadbolt. Double-check the window latches. The phone buzzes again, another message from a different number. Still not what you think. I don't delete it this time. I forward it to Detective Ruiz with a short note, unknown sender. Second contact. She replies within minutes. Got it. Stay alert. Don't engage. For once, I listen. Friday. Week over. The agency's happy hour kicks off at the same bar where everything started, the Black Finch. I tell myself not to go. Then I go anyway. The place smells of citrus cleaner and fried shrimp. Derek's already there. Holding court. Lila waves me over. Eyes bright. For the first time all week. The noise feels human. Glad you came. She says, "You deserve a drink." I deserve a quiet night. I counter. But smile anyway. We clink glasses, hers with gin. Mine with soda. The sound is sharp. Final. A small peace settles. Like maybe normal is possible after all. Then my phone vibrates. Another text. A picture of us. Taken from the back of the bar. Caption told you. I close my fist around the glass until the condensation slicks my palm. Whoever's watching wants a reaction. Not tonight. I lift my drink instead. Mate Leela's eyes. And say, "To honesty." She smiles. Not knowing why that word feels like armor. Small. Precise win, I stay standing. Saturday morning starts too quiet. The city outside my window looks rinsed and polished, clouds scraping the skyline like someone wiped the glass clean but forgot to dry it. I scroll through last night's messages again. The photo of me and Lila still sits in the thread. Time stamped. Unsigned. Every pixel screams surveillance. I forward it to Detective Ruiz with a single line. They're getting closer. Her reply. Working on it? Stay predictable. That helps us trace patterns. Stay predictable. I laugh at that. Predictability is what broke my life in the first place. By noon, the apartment feels too small. I drive to the waterfront, buy a bad coffee, and stare at the ferries cutting across Elliott Bay. The cold wind tastes metallic. My phone buzzes again, different number. Same phrase, it's not what you think. I nearly throw it into the water. Instead, I call the number, straight to voicemail. A woman's recorded voice. Light. Familiar. But twisted by static. Victor, please. Don't hang up. I need to talk. I know that voice. Clara. I drive home fast. Rain hammering the windshield. The building lobby smells like wet concrete and jasmine from the maintenance cleaner. The elevator ride up feels endless. When the doors open, she's there standing outside my apartment like time folded wrong. Clara Evans looks older. Not by years, but by decisions. Blown the hair darker now. Rain curling the ends. She's holding a file folder against her chest as if it's a shield. Victor, she says, voice trembling. Please don't close the door. I don't, but I don't move aside either. Seattle's a long way to come for closure. I didn't know how else to reach you. You blocked everything. On purpose. She nods. Accepting it. I deserve that. But you need to know what happened wasn't what you think. The phrase detonates between us. You had dinner with him. I say flatly. Hotel calendar invite. Private room. That's not imagination. It wasn't an affair. She says quickly. It started as mentoring. Mark was the senior partner. Hey. Stop. My voice cracks. You sound like a press release. She flinches but doesn't retreat. He tried to corner me. Victor. It wasn't romantic, it was leverage. I went to HR after you left. And they buried it. I didn't even get to tell you before you disappeared. I stare at her, searching for deceit. For the tremor people give away when they lie. Nothing. Just exhaustion and wet hair. So you're saying you were the victim. I say slowly. I'm saying we both were. The room tilts. The neat story I've rehearsed for a year starts to bend. You could have told me. I tried. She whispers. But you were gone. Silence stretches. The radiator hisses like a live wire between us. Finally, I step aside. 15 minutes. I say, then you're gone. We sit at the kitchen table. Same place where I once ate cereal, and silence. She slides the folder toward me. Inside copies of HR reports. A lawyer's letter. Timestamps. My name appears twice in the witness section. They'd contacted me after I left. Apparently, I never answered. You see why I came, she says. It's over legally. But I needed you to know. I wasn't cheating. Not the way you thought. I close the folder. And what do you want now? A clean ending. She says. A proper divorce. No lawyers fighting for sport. Just honesty. That word again, I almost laugh. 45 days. That's what Washington law says. For a mutual consent dissolution. Her eyes widen slightly. You've already looked it up. Planning to breathe for a while. Remember. She smiles faintly through tears. You always did research before emotions. Occupational hazard. We sit in the quiet. The rain starts again. Ticking against the glass. Finally, she stands. Thank you for hearing me. I know it doesn't fix anything. No, I say, but it stops the guessing. When the door closes behind her, the air feels heavier but cleaner. Midpoint shift, I've gone from running to rewriting. Monday. The agency buzzes with pre-launch tension. Lila finds me in the break room, holding her mug like it's an anchor. You look like someone got hit by enlightenment. She says. Something like that? Want to talk? Hesitate. My ex came by. Her expression freezes. That's sudden. She wanted closure. Said things I didn't expect. Good things. Complicated things. She studies me. So where does that leave you? Somewhere between past tense and future, maybe. Her smile is sad. Then I'll stay in the maybe column for now. That quiet generosity, no demand. No jealousy hits deeper than any confession. For the first time in months, I feel the floor under my feet. By evening, I'm back at my desk. The drone campaign deck is open but unread. Instead, I write an email, subject divorce filing. Clara Evans and Victor Nash. It's short, clean, professional. Closure through paperwork. A message pings back from Clara an hour later. Thank you. Victor, you always were better at finishing what I couldn't start. I stare at it for a long time. Then delete it. Days pass quietly. For once, no messages, no photos, no silver Corolla. The detective sends a short note confirming that the private investigator tracing me was hired by Clara months ago, before she decided to come herself. Case closed. That night, Lila and I celebrate the drone campaign's success. Dinner at a small restaurant near Pike Place, brick walls. Soft jazz. Smell of garlic and rain on pavement. She orders wine. I stick to soda. You don't drink. She says, but you still show up. That's rare. I've had enough hangovers that didn't need alcohol. I say. She laughs. A real one. You're learning. We talk until the candles burn low. When we step outside, the city hums a mix of traffic, tide, and faint music from a busker under the awning. She reaches for my hand. Hesitates. I don't pull away. Maybe it's time you stop surviving. She says, try living. Her eyes catch the light. And for the first time, I don't see an exit sign behind them. Just a way forward. Later, back in the car. My phone buzzes. This time it's Ruiz. Ruiz, for your information case cleared. No more tales. You're officially boring again. Emmy, best news all year. Ruse don't vanish again. Nash. I send a thumbs up emoji. She replies with a laughing one. The weight in my chest shifts not gone. Just distributed differently. The past didn't vanish. It just finally told the truth. As I drive home, rain streaks across the windshield like dissolving ink. For the first time in a long while, I don't delete the message thread or look over my shoulder. I let the city lights smear into color. And I breathe. Somewhere behind the storm, the glass city reflects a man still standing. The week after Clara leaves, everything hums too smoothly. That's how I know the storm's still coming. The drone campaign wins its first client pitch. And Pixel and STEM celebrates with champagne and hashtags. My inbox fills with praise threads. Victor Lang calls me the agency's quiet hammer. I should feel proud. I mostly feel watched. Success doesn't erase ghosts. It attracts new ones. By Thursday, my name's on the short list for managing partner. Derek claps me on the back in the hallway. You're finally out of the shadows. Nash. I smile like I mean it. That night, the office holds an after-hours toast. Lila hands me a glass of sparkling water instead of wine. Her intuition still startles me. To second chances, she says. Thirds. Maybe. I answer. Her smile holds. You look lighter lately. Did something shift? Truth came out. I say, doesn't change history, but it edits the file. She nods. Sometimes that's enough. The next morning, I walk into the office and stop cold. Someone's printed a photo and pinned it to the shared corkboard me and Lila at dinner. Heads close. Laughing. Scrawled under it in black marker, transparency matters. My stomach flips. Whisper trails ripple through the bullpen. I yank the picture down. Scan the room. Connor Hale leans back in his chair, smirking. Everything okay? Boss, he says. You see who posted this? He shrugs. Public figures can't control their narrative. Right. Watch yourself. He grins wider. Relax. Nash. Just office fun. Fun gets people fired. I say quietly, choose your jokes carefully. The smirk falters. But not for long. Later, Derek catches me in the corridor. You think it's Hale. Feels like his brand. I say, you seen him around Lila lately? Too much. Derek says, he's been sniffing around the drone numbers, probably jealous of the win. Jealousy. Always the same virus in a new body. By noon, HR wants a clarification meeting about workplace boundaries. Apparently, an anonymous complaint flagged favoritism. Lila and I sit in the conference room like defendants in a bad movie. The HR rep reads boilerplate about professional conduct. Lila keeps her chin high, eyes steady. When it's over, we step into the hallway. I'm sorry, she says, voice shaking. I didn't mean to cause. Don't. I interrupt. You didn't do anything wrong. But someone's coming for you. Then they'll have to do better than gossip. She nods but doesn't look convinced. That evening, Derek drags me to his apartment for an early celebration. Lang's announcing your promotion Monday. He says, you can't hide from good news. Half the creative team's already there. Music low. Drinks flowing. Lila arribas late. Dressed down in jeans and that bright confidence that used to scare me, I let the night move around me laughter. Clinking glasses. People pretending to be invincible. Then Connor Hale shows up. Eyes glassy. To the king of clean living, he calls out, raising a shot. The man who won't touch temptation. The room chuckles uncomfortably. Derek tries to steer him away. Hale shakes him off. Staggers closer. Come on. Nash. He taunts. What's it like being worshipped by your accountant? Lila's face drains of color. My hand curls into a fist. Then unclenches. The room waits for a blow that never comes. Connor. I say evenly. You're drunk. Go home. He laughs. Loud and wrong. You think you're a saint because you don't cheat newsflash. You're still lying to yourself. That line lands somewhere deep. I step closer. Close enough for him to smell restraint. I don't lie. I say, I just stopped explaining. He mutters something crude and stumbles toward the door. The air deflates. Someone changes the music. Everyone pretends it's over. But it isn't. Sunday morning. The explosion hits. An anonymous email circulates to management photos from last night. Cropped to make it look like I was whispering in Lila's ear. Subject line, conflict of interest proof attached. Lang calls me within the hour. Tell me it's fake. Nash. It's context-free. That's not an answer. Then here's one. I say, it's real, but it's not misconduct. Silence. Then handle it before the board does. I hang up. Throat burning. The moral test arrives on schedule. Just wearing a new suit. I drive straight to the office. It's empty. Sunday quiet. Lila's there already. Sitting in the dark with her laptop open. You saw it. She says. I did. Her voice trembles. He sent it from my login. Victor. Hale used my station Friday. Remember when I stepped out? I found the draft email in my outbox. Proof. And proof is power if you use it right. I pull out my phone, open the internal audit system, and file a digital complaint with attachments, timestamps, camera footage from Friday's hallway cam, her workstation log. Within minutes, en auto-confirmation pings back. Legal. Clean. No shouting. Lila exhales shakily. You're sure this won't backfire? It will. I say, everything does, but it'll backfire correctly. Monday morning, Lang convenes an emergency meeting. Connor sits at the end of the table, pretending confusion. HR starts to question him. I slide a flash drive across the table. Security feed. I say, footage shows him accessing her terminal. Lang plugs it in, scans the clip, then looks up. Expression granite. Connor. He says, you're done. Hale sputters. You're taking his word over. Or evidence. Lang says, yes. Security escorts him out. The office goes silent. No one claps. But no one looks away either. Afterward, Lang turns to me. This kind of self-control is rare. Victor, partner title's yours. If you want it. I want to say yes. I also want to sleep for a week. Instead, I shake his hand. Payoff achieved moral restraint wins, but the cost is trust, shattered across the floor. That night, Lila comes by my apartment. She stands in the doorway, uncertain. You didn't have to protect me like that. Yes, I did. I say, it's called leadership. She steps closer. No, it's called love. The word hangs there, alive and terrifying. I don't deny it. We don't need a fade to black, just silence. Soft and mutual. For once, the dark feels like rest. Not hiding. Morning. The city hums again. Wet and brilliant. My phone buzzes a message from Clara, no words. Just a picture of a signed divorce decree. Beneath it, a final text. It's not what you think, this time. It's freedom. For the first time, the phrase doesn't sting. It lands clean, like punctuation. I forward the message to my archive, then delete the rest of the thread. Closure. Notarized. All is lost, not exactly. All that needed losing is gone. By the time spring leans into Seattle, the rain finally learns restraint. The city smells like wet cedar and espresso. And for the first time in a long while, I do too. The agency hums around me steady, productive. Quieter. Connor's name is gone from the system. The board signed my promotion papers last week. Managing partner. The title feels less like victory and more like permission to stop running. Still, there's a restlessness under the calm. I stand at my office window and watch a gull trace circles over Elliott Bay. Free in ways people never manage. Behind me, Lila taps lightly on the glass wall. She's holding 2 coffees. As usual, guess who made it official? She says. Setting one down, Lang posted the announcement. Your inbox is probably on fire. Flames are fine. I say, they make light. She smiles. But it's a measured one. You know I asked to transfer to another account. Right, so nobody can call it favoritism. He turned toward her. You didn't have to do that. Yeah, she says. I did. Her tone isn't angry, just grown up. It hits me that she's learned the same thing I did. The cost of staying honest is losing your favorite illusions. You're still my partner. I say, just in a different way. She nods, eyes soft. That's all I wanted. The following weekend, Derek hosts a small celebration in his courtyard. String lights, bad beer, paper plates. The kind of party where everyone pretends not to check their phones. Lila shows up in a denim jacket, smiling easily. As if the office scandal belonged to another lifetime, Lang sends a bottle of wine with a note that says, to Victor Nash, proof that integrity occasionally pays. I open it and pour a glass for everyone else. Halfway through the evening, a familiar figure steps into the courtyard. Clara. The conversation dips, then resumes at half volume. She looks composed. Sunlight, catching the faint scar of old decisions across her expression. Derek spots her and gives me a questioning look. I nod. She approaches, holding a small envelope. Didn't mean to crash your thing. She says, just wanted to give you this. I take it. Inside the final divorce decree, embossed seal and all. She's already signed everything. You could have mailed it. I thought you deserved to see that I'm okay. No ghosts. No apologies left. You look good. I say, and mean it. You too. And her. She nods subtly toward Lila, who's talking to Derek near the grill. She's good for you. Clara says, strong people scare you until they don't. I smile faintly. You were strong too, just differently. She laughs. Short but real. Maybe next lifetime we'll figure out timing. Maybe. She starts to leave, then pauses. Victor, thank you for not hating me forever. I tried. I admit, didn't stick. She reaches out, squeezes my hand once. Take care. Partner. Then she's gone, swallowed by the evening light. Weeks slide by. Projects rise. Deadlines fall. The rhythm feels stable, almost domestique. Then one afternoon, Lang calls me into the big conference room. The agency's prepping for a public showcase, a mix of awards and PR theater. You're closing the event, he says. The big speech about ethics and creativity. You're the poster boy now. I groan. So I'm the moral mascot. Exactly, he says, grinning. Don't screw it up. The night of the event, the auditorium buzzes with flashbulbs and laughter. I stand backstage. Palms damp. Heart steady in its cage. Lila waits near the wings. Clipboard in hand. You nervous, she asks. Only about everything. You'll do fine. Just speak like you do in brainstorms, half logic. Half confession. Dangerous combo. Effective combo. She corrects. The MC calls my name. I step into the light. Applause rolls like surf loud. Brief. Fading. I take the podium. Glance at the front row. Clara's there, sitting beside Derek. I nod once. She nods back. The circle completes quietly. My name's Victor Nash. I begin. A year ago, I thought rebuilding meant forgetting. Turns out it means remembering differently. Amor moripas. I continue. Words finding their own rhythm. We talk about transparency a lot in this business. But real transparency isn't glass walls, it's what happens when you stop lying to yourself. When you admit what broke you, you stop breaking others. Silence. Then steady applause. I step away. Not triumphant, just grounded. After the event, people swarm with congratulations. I slip out a side door, into night air that smells of rain and street food. Lila catches up halfway down the steps. You did it, she says. Did what? Close the loop. You made honesty sound like an art form. I laugh. It's just survival with better branding. We walk toward the bay, where the city's reflections shimmer green. Gold. 100 small lies pretending to be stars. She stops beside me. So? She says. What now? Now, I say. We work. We breathe. Maybe we live a little. She smiles. In that order, probably not. The months that follow are quieter than I expected. Lila and I take things slow. Deliberately. Clara moves to Portland with a new partner, Derek. Of all people. When she tells me, I actually laugh. Guess we both needed a translator. I say. She agrees. The detective emails me once, just to say congratulations on the award. I reply with a thank you and delete the old evidence folder. The past finally fits into one archive labeled closed. 25 years later, I'm standing in my backyard just outside the city. The air heavy with spring rain. My teenage daughter, our daughter, mine and Lila's calls through the screen door. Dad. Mom says dinner's ready. Her voice carries the easy certainty I once envied in others. I glance at the ring on my finger, plain titanium. Scratched. Solid. When I turn toward the house, I see Lila through the window. Setting plates. Smiling. Without noticing she's smiling. The phone buzzes in my pocket. Unknown number. For a moment, habit twitches. I open it. A single message. It's not what you think. I laugh out loud, startled by my own joy. And type back, I know. That's the end of it. The glass city around me no longer a cage, but a mirror. You can rebuild a life from broken transparency if you stop chasing clarity and start living in reflection. So yes, serves the wife and the mistress. Not with cruelty, but with distance, growth, and peace they'll never mistake for forgiveness. I walk inside, the door closing softly behind me. The rain starts again.